All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for real people just like you right there, and just like me. Okay, so country singer Joe Diffie, unfortunately, has also succumbed to the virus. Says here, country hit maker behind songs like Pickup Man and John Deere Green has died from complications of COVID-19. He was 61 years old. By the way, they are demonetizing every video I do about COVID. I think it's because it's in the title and so forth. It's kind of hard to avoid. So in any event, just keep watching these videos if you can. Hopefully they will remonetize them at some point. Diffie went public with his coronavirus on Friday. He says, I am under the care of medical professionals and currently receiving treatment. My family and I are asking for privacy at this time, he wrote. We want to remind the public and all my fans to be vigilant, cautious, and careful during this pandemic. His passing from the disease was announced via a press release from Adkins Publicity via Billboard. For a lot of folks during the 1990s, this was the kind of music that saved us for a little while because the music industry had turned in such a direction and that's another reason I think people will always look back at the 90s country stuff and think that was a really great time because the country format was not dark. It was not negative. These were all upbeat songs, or some of them were ballads and they made you think, but for the most part, it was about melody and arrangements. And if you liked, you grew up listening to the Eagles or, I don't know, any number of 70s artists, you probably were fine with everything that came out in the 90s, as I was. Born in Tulsa, Diffie's music career began as a member of the gospel group Higher Purpose and the bluegrass band Special Edition in the late 70s. At the same time, he worked at a foundry and built his own recording studio, where he wrote and recorded songs for other artists, including Hank Thompson, Love on the Rocks. When the foundry closed in '86, he sold the studio and declared bankruptcy not long after he got divorced from his first wife. After battling through the resulting depression, he moved to Nashville and began working for Gibson Guitar Corporation. It's a good job. All the while, he continued writing demos that would go on to be recorded by the likes of Alabama, Billy Dean, the Forrester Sisters, and Ricky Van Shelton. After he co-wrote and sang backing vocals on Holly Dunn's There Goes My Heart Again, Diffie was signed to his own deal with Epic in 1990. His debut album, A Thousand Winding Roads, was released later that year. Diffie would go on to record 12 more LPs, spawning 17 top 10 hits on Billboard's Hot Country Songs list. 5 of those tracks reached number 1, including his very first single, Home. Diffie was welcomed into the Grand Ole Opry in 1993 and won a Grammy for his all-star collaboration Same Old Train with Merle Haggard, Emmylou Harris, and more. In 2002, he was inducted into the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. In addition to his solo material, Diffie penned songs for the likes of Tim McGraw, Jody Messina, and Conway Twitty. His string of 90s honky-tonk hits about good old boys led him to become one of country's most beloved figures. Jason Aldean name-checked him heavily in his 2012 track 1994. That song's hook, Joe Diffie, became the title of Diffie's 2019 album, his first ever vinyl release. Chris Young also sang of Diffie on the 2019 song Raised on Country. For me, Third Rock from the Sun was just like a revelation because it combined sort of this up-tempo rock guitar. Some people called it turbo tonk because it was just a little more upbeat and had a lot of, just a lot of straight up rock and roll elements to it. And so I liked obviously I really like that song and the video and the story that goes along with it. I mean, I know every word to that song, and I don't know words to a lot of songs all the way through. But that one, as soon as it comes on, I can go through all the different things that are happening. Probably because I bought the CD, and those are the days where you would open the CD and actually read lyrics as the song plays. And it's one of those, we didn't start the fire kind of things where it goes pretty fast and you have to try to keep up with it. So that was my job. I kept up with it. This guy could sing a ballad as well as he could sing an up-tempo track. And he just had a great voice. That's one thing that nobody really mentioned in this article, is how well this guy could sing. And it was very unique. Only 61 years old, Joe. It's too bad, again, that this is happening. I would just tell people, please take care and stay safe and do what your government is asking you to do. I know that for some folks that is a scary thing to say in a sentence, but sheltering in place might be a really good idea, even if you don't get a shelter-in-place order. Get the food and come back home. You know what I mean? I know there are a lot of people hurting out there, losing jobs and so forth, and my guess is that Joe Diffie was out there in contact with people, and unfortunately, when you're in the public eye and you're performing and you're greeting fans and so forth, you just never know. So, in any event, a lot of these country guys, too, are very accessible. It's not like they charge you for a meet and greet. They're just, hey, a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them are, but I'm thinking this guy's kind of like a blue-collar, working-class hero. His lyrics had that quality to him, and it got me through the 90s. I mean, his music, bigger than the Beatles. Go listen to that. You want to hear a great song that, I know he didn't write it, but he had the good instincts to record it, and it's just a good track. So, Joe Diffie, aged 61 years old, again falls victim to the coronavirus. Sad, sad news. All right, folks. Again, I'm going to be probably off for a couple of days coming up as I prepare to move to a new location. So if you don't see me, that's probably the reason. So hang in there. We can get through this. We're going to have to try. We're going to have to work our hardest to do it. But there's some scary stuff happening out there, so stay safe. See you soon.